Good morning, friends. Actually, we have learned in the last class about two topics we have covered in the last two class. I can say that about the smart form and the smart SAP script. Let's conclude the smart form and SAP scripts. What we have learned, what are the uses of smart form and the SAP scripts, and how we have learned those two objects. I can tell you about. See, basically, smart form and SAP script we are using for any kind of paperwork. I mean to say, where we require some printout, like for invoices we require a printout, for a debit memo or credit memo, for sales order, for salary slip, these things. For any tickets we require a printout. For these tickets, these kind of paperwork, what we can do in the WordPad without using these SAP system, we can do in the words. But why not? Why we are using the SAP? I can say SAP script or smart form, because what happened in the SAP, if you're going to the if you're writing anything in the, if you're going to create a one invoice manually, but each and every time what you required, each suppose there is a number of customers for which you required invoices, so there may be chances that for each and every customer, every time you need to create, you need to manually enter each and everything for each and every customer, each and every vendor. But what happened in the smart form SAP scripts, you need to only give the vendor number and customer number. It will automatically pull all the data from the system. It will show you in the output. First thing. Second thing, see, actually we are using SAP, so all the data, whatever the data is there, already stored in the database of the SAP system. So when suppose you have a SAP system, but you are using the Word for creating an invoice, or some other form of printing, so I can say that it is not good, because if you have a system, then you can utilize that. I have seen that some of the companies, they have a facility for a SAP script or a smart form, but still they are using Word to they are creating their own, I can say, invoice and some other sales order kind of thing with manually, which I do not recommend it for that. So we have used those things, and we have seen that there is a number of steps, especially in the SAP smart form which we are currently using. We have a lot of option. We can add our logo, company's logo. We can give their we can design the smart form as per the requirement. There is an option for the tables, and we can easily add those tables in the smart form. We have seen that there is no need each and every time we need to go or calculate the total. We can write the code with the help of that. Whatever the total is there, it will automatically calculate it. Suppose, one thing I want to add over here, suppose you have one, suppose you are working in two different currencies. Suppose I am working for dollar and INR, Indian currency. So what will be profit, I can say benefit, of Word over a smart form while we are working in the two different currencies? See, if you are using any Word or you are writing any ticket manually, then that time if we are using, suppose the I mean to say end user or customer or vendor, anyone want the output in the rupees form, they do not want to in the dollar form. So it is difficult. Each and every time you need to calculate. If you're going to manually create these things, then each and every time you need to calculate, you need to convert your dollar into rupees each and every time on the base of their current rate. So but in the SAP SAP, what happened, it is stored automatically in the system. It is stored in this, because all the things, it is stored in the system, so there is no need to convert manually. It will automatically convert with the help of some function module, which what we are going to learn today about the function module, which will directly convert your one currency into another currency. Suppose there is suppose you have print some ticket and cost of the ticket is $100, but user want it into the rupees. So SAP, what SAP do, it will easily convert $100 into directly to rupees, which is come around 6,500 rupees or 6,700 rupees according to the current rate of that day of the dollar. So these things we can easily handle in SAP script or smart form, but it cannot be easily as handled in the manually, where you're writing manually these things in your Word or somewhere else. Because each and every time you need to check the system, you need to check the rate, and then only you can convert. You need to use calculator and a lot of things that will take a lot of time in the day. If you need to print around 1000 tickets, then it will take a lot of time to manually print those tickets as compared to the SAP. It will take minimum time, and it will convert your 100 tickets in a very small amount of time. So we have learned this thing in the SAP script in smart form. So nowadays most of the organization using SAP smart form, which is very easy, user friendly, and they will provide you a T code. With the help of that, you can easily take the output and you can show it to the end user or the customer. Now we are going to learn today about the SAP function module. What exactly is the function module and why we require the function module in the SAP system? See, just I have given you an example. Here what happened? See, actually what happened? There is lot of things for which SAP given you the standard sum function module. With the help of that, there is no need to write a piece of code for those things, and you can easily handle with the SAP function module. There is a T code which is called SE37, in which we are writing our SAP function module, and we will give the input. It will directly give you the output. For example, suppose I will give you a few examples in which I am taking the same example. Suppose I have a currency of dollar, and I want to convert that dollar into the Indian rupees or GBP, Great Britain pound. So what I will do, I will directly put that particular dollar, suppose $100, and there is a function module which convert one currency into another currency. So what I will do, I will go in SE37 transaction, I will write down that function module, and I will execute that function module. While executing that function module, I need to provide the input. In the input, I will give the amount, which is 100, then a dollar, which is the currency of that particular amount, and the date, today's date. So what the function module will do, it will convert the dollar into GBP, the same $100 into Great Britain pound GBP on the basis of that particular date rate. Suppose there is $1 is equal to $1 is equal to 5 GBP. Suppose 5 Great Britain pound. So it will convert 100 into 5, around 500 GBP. Like that it will convert. This is the one example. Another example, suppose I want my customer want that the invoice I need the payment date. The payment date should be I can say that payment date should be of 30th of every month. 30th of every month. So what my function module will do, I will write the code and I will create one function module, or there is a lot of other function module which will take, and what I will do, I will suppose I can give another example. Suppose I want in the invoice, I want a payment date should be the next month of 30th. If I create the invoice this month, suppose I create an invoice in June month, so payment date should be the 30th of the next month. Like that. So I have created invoice, today is suppose today is 25th. So 25th I have created in 25th June I have created the invoice, but the payment date should be 30th of the next month. So I have taken one function module. What it will do, it will fetch the whatever if I'm writing if I'm putting the date of today's. So what I will do, I need, if I'm put the June month, if I put the June month any date, so output should be the next month last date, maybe 30 or 31st. So I will write in the input over here 26 June 2016. So output should become 30th July 2016. Like that, there is a lot of function model. A function module, this is the second kind of, we have a function module. With the help of that, you can get the number of days between two particular days. You will get the number of week between two particular days. You will get the number of months between two particular years. Like that, we have a lot of function model which we are going to learn over here. So we will start with the new chapter, which is modularization or cache statement. What exactly the modularization and cache statement we are going to learn over here. See, starting with the modularization. See, it is an internal subroutine call, external subroutine call, or function module. So modularization is three things: internal subroutine call, external subroutine call, and function module. Internal subroutine call, we start with the. See, subroutine, what exactly the, first of all, I want to tell you about the subroutine. What exactly the subroutine? See, subroutine is nothing but in the SAP, while we are writing a piece of code, so we do not want each and every code should be mixed up in everywhere, should be mixed up. So what SAP has provided you subroutine. What the subroutine is called? Subroutine is nothing but a perform we are writing in the SAP is called perform. In the perform, we are writing a piece of code it will execute when it will come. So in the perform, we are writing a piece of code, and it will execute when your program is started to executing. So in the internal subroutine, suppose we have written perform. So for every perform, there should be a form and inform. And for inside a form and inform, you need to write a piece of code like that. See, I have a start. Your program always is started with the start of selection. So when you are going to start with the start of selection, there is a number of, you can see the perform. Perform is nothing but these are the subroutines. Perform routine 1, perform routine 2, perform routine 2. So these are the subroutines. So when you are going to click on the perform, so it will create a form. You can see form routine 1. Inform. So for every form, you can see form and inform, form and inform. So for every form, there should be inform. Otherwise, it will give you a dump. It will give you error. So what I have done in the start of selection, see, basically when your program is start executing, so it will go inside your loop will go. My mean is a cursor will go into your system. When it will come to the start of selection, so it will going to search about the select query. Select query in the sense from where you are fetching your data. So here I have seen that we can see that in the perform, when you're going to double click over here, so it will create a form and it's inform. So for inside a form and inform, you can write your own query. So here you can see they have written the select star from the customers into table tab. I have told you that whenever you are fetching the data from your database table, here you can see that it's a simple SQL query. Select, it will select data star in the sense all data from the table customer. So it will selecting that all data from the table customer into table tab. Table tab in the sense this is our internal table. So I have told you in the SAP, whenever you're fetching or pulling your data from the standard database table, you need to put that data. You need to put all those data into your internal table. So SAP is working like in this way. So whenever the data will come in your system, in your I can say memory, so it will store in your internal table. Internal table is nothing but, I can say, it's a kind of RAM. It will work while your program is running, your program is workable. It will not run when your program is not workable. So what it will do, it will select star, it will fetch the data from your customer table and store the data into the internal table. Always remember, when you're writing a write query, when you're pulling the data or fetching the data for your standard table or database table, so it will always store the data into the internal table. It is always store your data into the internal table. So here we have seen that it will store the data into the internal table and inform. This is the first perform, so we have closed this thing. Then again the second perform. Second perform, it what it will do. See, now we got the data into the internal table. So second perform, what it will do, it will loop in the table. It will loop the internal table because there is number of data. There is not a single data. If the single data, so we can directly write it out and it will give you the output. But because it is a number of data, a number of line item, so what it will do, we are writing the loop over here. So inside a loop, we can see that the data has come into your internal table. So what I have done, so we have written the write statement over here. So this is our internal table, or this is the field. The second one is the field of your internal table. So tab ID and tab name. I need in the output only two things: ID and name. So what I will do, I will taken in my from internal table ID and internal table the name of that particular ID. So every time when the loop, when it will come into the second routine in the second form, it will go inside a loop. It will see the first line item. There is suppose 10 line item. 10 number of data is 10. If there is a 10 data, so first it will go line number 1. It will write your ID and name and end loop. That again it will go in the second line item. In the second line item again it will see the ID and name and it will come into the end loop. So this way it is, because there is a 10 number of data is 10, so it will loop the 10 times and it will write all 10 items and the end form for this perform. So this is the routine which we'll call routine. So it will segregate your I can say your it will segregate your code in a proper way. So it is very easy to understand each and everything. So when you see that this is perform for select the data, so you can in the routine one you can write perform for get data or fetch data, whatever. In the second you can write the perform for looping, so you can write the loop or write underscore data like that. So these perform and routine one, you can decide whatever the name you want to give, you can give over here. There is not necessary you can use some predefined perform name. You can write your sorry own name like this. Now second, modularization. Why we are using modularization? What is the use of that? So we can see that these are the why we are using modularization, why we require. So these are the reason why we are using modularization function model. See, avoid redundancy. Redundancy in the sense repetition. Sometimes sometimes we require something, we do not require something 2 or 3 times. So that time we can use modularization to avoid redundancy. It will reduce your redundancy in the system, in the program. Make your program easy to read and improve their structure. See, it is very important, whatever you are writing, it is easy to understand someone else. If it is not, then it is difficult for other person when it will change your program or doing some other implementation into your program. So it is very important that when you're writing your program, it is very much important that others can understand your program very well. Otherwise, if they are not able to understand your program very well, so it is very difficult that in the situation when you leave your job and someone else comes in your place, that time if he or she want to do some changes or some implementation in your program, so it is very difficult to understand another one. Then we can use reuse program components. It is very important. Whatever you have used in your program, that can be used somewhere else also. So we are the modularization providing these kind of facility, these techniques, I can say, providing these kind of techniques or technicality. So we can use modularization for these. See, calling and defining subroutines. How we define and one second. Now calling and defining subroutines. How we define and call the subroutines. Oh yeah, you can see. We can start with the report. When you are starting any report, so you have to start with your report name. So you can say, and I always remember I have told you that when you're writing any report, the first letter should be Z or Y. Then only it will accept your report name. Otherwise, SAP will not accept your name, because apart from Z and Y, other keywords in alphabetical, there is a 26 keyword in the alphabet, but apart from Z and Y, another 24 character has to be secured for SAP itself. We cannot use for customizing purpose. We cannot use from A to X. So you can see that report Z test. Then there is a two things. Initially, first of all, we need to declare a global data. Global data in the sense that data which we can use anywhere in the program, anywhere inside a subroutine, inside any function module we can use. So for that we need to create a global data. We need to declare a global data. You can see that initially they have declared a table customers, tables they have declared the customer. This is the customer table. Then they have declared the data type, data TMP type I for integer. So type I in one character, it is taking only single character. Then we have called the subroutine. This is the way you need to write your code. It is calling or defining a subroutine. This is the way you can define your code or subroutine. So first of all, we need to create a global data. You can see that this asterisk. This asterisk means, what is the meaning of this asterisk? This asterisk means this is the comment. So I meant to say report will not execute, will not consider these statements. These are the comments. So report will not consider these statements. So these statements for understanding the report, what we have done, initially we can write just like I need to declare some internal table, so I will write star internal table. So we can write internal table. Then if I need to write some logic, we can give a star and we can write the logic over there, and after that we can write our own logic. So it is very easy to understand the people who work on that particular report and that particular program in the future. So we can see that here we have given the comment global data. So global data, we have declared the table and data type. Then we have subroutine calls. Subroutine calls, that subroutine pools, what we have seen over here. See, in the subroutine you can see the subroutine perform. These are the subroutines. So we have used these subroutines over here. Perform routine 1 and routine 2. These two perform what we have used over there. So you can see subroutine 1. So in the subroutine form, when you are going to double click in the perform, it will automatically create a form and name form. So in the form inside, what I have done, I have declared the data. Again, temp1 type P. So here you can see that we have declared data over here and we have also declared data inside this routine. What is the difference between these two? Why we cannot create these data over here in the global data? The reason behind this, this is the global data. This is the global data which we can use anywhere, but this is the local data. Local data, why it is local data? Because this is inside a form. This is inside this subroutine. It is not, we cannot use this data temp1 outside of this subroutine. So this subroutine is only for this this data declaration is only for this subroutine. So we can only use this data type inside this subroutine. Outside this subroutine it is not allowed. So that's why it is called local data declaration. This is the local data and this is the global data. You can see whenever you are writing any data inside form, that is a local data. When you are writing outside or start of the form, start of the report, that is a global data. That is a simple difference. Then again, we have created the second subroutine. In the second subroutine, the same thing we have. You can see that data, we have created the local data over here also. temp2 10, here temp1 type P, temp2 type 10. So this is all, these both are the local data. It is very easily understandable what exactly the local data and what exactly the global data. So these things, it is very easily understandable what exactly the difference between local data and global data, and what exactly the subroutines. So these things we are using in our program very frequently. Then we can see the call by value. What exactly the call by value? The call by value is a what it will do, it will copy. See this a1, this is something variable which we are going to copy in the function in the your subroutine. So it is memory space subroutine. So you can see that call by value, in the call by value we are calling a value from one place to another place. So these are call by value. We are basically, it is copying from one place to another place, but we are calling these things. So call by value we can see over here. So what exactly is the call by value? See, initially we have declared the data A1 and A2. Two data. There is a two way to declare your data. One is you can directly declare your data over here. You can directly declare your data over here, just like A1 and A2. Second way, you can declare the data A1 type character 1, A2 type character 2, oh sorry, character 1, because this is a single character type. So character 1 you can write over here. So what it will do, I need to do, I need to have declared these two data A1 and A2. Now what I am doing, I am assigning the value A1 and A2 both A. I am assigning A to A1, assigning A to A2 also. So you can see these, you can very easily understand these, assigning A to A1, assigning A to A2. Then again we are calling perform. Now what? See, there what I have done in the previous slides, you can see I have written only perform routine 1 and perform routine 2. These are the subroutine call. Simple way of subroutine call. But here you can see I am using one word. These you can easily understand. Perform routine 1. This because we have used in the previous slide also. But here I have taken the word using A1 and A2, these two things. So it is something, an example of call by value. So here what I have done, perform routine 1 using A1 and A2, which we have declared the data over here. So using, I have used, take the using keyword A1 and A2. So what I have done, again I have created, double click on the perform, it will create form and inform. So inside a form, again the same thing, routine 1 using, then again what I have done, value F1 and value F2. I have taken the value A1 and A2, I have taken the value F1 and F2 over here. So what F1 and F2 is doing? What exactly the F1 and F2 is doing? See, the F1 and F2, there is a two variable F1 and F2. Here you can see value F1 and value F2. These are the two variables. So what these two variables will do? I will put the value of F1 x into F1 and x into F2. Whatever we have done over here, the same thing, and inform. Then these F1 and F2, if I want to write, so we can directly use the write keyword over here and we can write. And if you want to use this F1 F2 somewhere else, that is also possible. So this is the simple way of understanding call by value. Again, I'm going to repeat these things. So initially we need to declare a data, then those data should be the value should be put in those two data. So A1, then we are using routine. Here we are using the special keyword using, the perform routine 1 using A1 and A2, then form routine 1 using value F1 and value F2. These are the things. Then second thing, we have used here call by value. The second thing is call by reference. So call by reference is what happened. In the call by value, we are passing the value itself. Just like here, what we have passed, we have passed the value A1, A2, x to F1, F2, and A to A1, A2. But in the call by reference, we are passing the address. In place of value, we are passing the address. You can see A1, A3 is containing address passing. We are passing the address of A3 into F3 directly. So you can see A3, we are passing the address off to the F3. So in the call by reference, we are passing the address. which in memory space subroutine. So here we can see that over here. See A3, again we are declaring the data, and here we are using A we are putting the value of A over here, single value. Then again perform routine 2 using A3, which is A3. And in form routine 2 using F3, we are using F3. F3 is nothing but your we are some variable, and we are going to put the variable into X. So X we have put into the F3. The same thing we have done in the call by value also. You can see the call by value we have used the two variable. We are putting the data inside these value, and here again the same thing we have using F1 F2. You can see that F1 F2 we have used over here in the value. So F1 we have used, F2 we have used, and we are putting the value. The same thing here in the call by address, we have used here F3 and value is A3. So we are putting the X, the same thing, into the F3. So these two things, always remember the call by value and the call by reference. So call by value is always passing a value, always getting a value, or always we are putting the value, and the call by reference always we are passing a address, not the value. Here we are using address, there we are using value. So in the address we require a memory space. There is something concept which we have learned in the C++, which is called the pointer. The same thing, call by reference is nothing but related with the pointer. What happened? The call by reference we have done this. Again the call by value and the result, you can see that the call by value and result what we required over here. See, we are copying, what we are doing, we are only copying in the call by value and the call by reference, we are only copying the value from one place to another place, from this to this. So A4 and F4, we can see the call by value and its result. So here you can see that we have taken the two different variable. Again the same thing over here, call by value and result. So you can see that A4 and A5 we have declared the data, and the same I'm putting over here in A4 and A5 we are putting the same value AA. Okay, then we are using perform routine 3 using A4 and A5, these two A4 and A5 we are using. So form routine 3, in place of using what we have done over here, we have writing the one changing over here. Why changing? Because we need to change the value of F5 here, value F4 and F5. We have taken the two value F4 and F5. You can see the F5 is a call by reference. You can see the F5 is a call by reference. It is not call by value. F5 is a call by reference and F4 is a call by value. So these two things over, these two different values over here, call by reference and call by value. So what I have, but the value what I am passing in F4 and F5 the same X, and the same in the routine, the same routine inside, then X changing only I have used, in place of using I have used the word changing. The same thing, but I'm passing the same A4 and A5. I'm passing over here F4 and F5. Two things I'm passing over. So it is very easy to understand. See, only I have what I have done change in place of using I have taken changing. These things you need to understand only. And the value is F4. F4 is there and F5 is there. Value initially what I can see that here in the reference we have using only single value F3 and A3 over here. But you can see and result I'm passing F value F4 and F5. F5 is nothing but the call by reference. F5 is nothing but the call by reference, and F4 and F5 I'm passing X. Now passing structure as a parameter. I'm passing the structure as a parameter. You can see that. Now how I'm going to declare this. See again here what I have done. How to pass the structure as a parameter. See initially when you start your reports, first I need to tell, I have told you need to declare your table. So first you have declared your tables. If you want you can see over there. You can see in the report, in the global data declaration, first we have declared the tables, then data type. So here also I have declared the tables first. So I have declared the table first over here in the global data type. Then again, this is the table as flight. So what I have done, I have writing the SQL query over here to fetch the data from the S flight. So I have written select star from S flight. I have not taken any internal table or any other thing to store that value. I have taken only simple select star from S flight. Then I have used the subroutine. Subroutine perform subproc using S flight. The same S flight what I have taken, the same internal table, the same database table I have used in the form of using. So in the select I have using this perform. So inside you can see this is the first time I have used any subroutine inside a select. So select is working the same as loop and end loop. You can see the select. So it is working as the same as a select, or in the I meant to say as a loop. It is working as a loop. So this perform what it will do. So for when you're going to double click this, so I need to write form for this perform. So what I have done, the same subproc perform form using rec like S flight. Rec is nothing but I have taken a internal table over here. Here I have taken one internal table. I have not taken any internal table over here. That's I want to show you over here. What I have told you in the previous slides. Whenever you are going to fetch the data from the select query, you need to you need to take those data, or you need to put those data into your internal table. That is absolutely correct. But what I have done over here, I am not using any internal table. I have only write the simple select query, and I have taken what I have taken over here in the subroutine of this perform. While we are writing a form, the same thing using rec I have declared, I have passed the parameter over here. You can see that I have a structure. I have taken the structure over here, like in the sense the same flight, S flight, the same thing over here. Rec like S flight. So rec whatever if you want now, whatever you want, you can write over here. So select, I have written rec hyphen carried ID, passenger ID. This is carried. Flight ID. Flight ID is carry ID, car ID. So car ID we have written over here and inform. So it in the what it will do, if there is 100 line items, so it will go 100 times each and every time. You can see that select I have written. So I have using this over here, but basically this is whatever the written over here, this is something related with this. So loop will be work over here, select and in between select and select. Each and every time when the select will work, select will going inside this perform, and it will come again, it will going inside this and come again. So each and every time this perform using S flight will work with the select and select. So each and every time it will write whatever you have written over here, it will write inside the this particular loop. which is nothing but select in select loop. So this is another way to declare your structure or parameter. Next, passing internal table as a parameter. What I have seen, I have work over there, the same thing. So basically what we are writing whenever you are writing your internal table, so we have written data tab is your internal table, like s flight is nothing but your database table. So tab, whenever using like, so like you can always use when you want to directly I can say integrate your internal table with your database table. So tab like as flight occurs zero. Occurs zero means it will occurs always used to occupy the memory. It will occupy the memory with header line. With header line in the sense we are declaring that it will showing that we are declaring the internal table. Then perform sub tables tab over here. So there is a two way we can declare our this perform with the parameter. The in first, if you declare your internal table in the database in the declaration part, so you can write this way. Otherwise, what I have done over here, rec like s flight, you can write this way also. So both way, either this way or this way, both are equal. Both are performing same. Perform sub tables tab. So both are working same. There is no difference between these two tables. Both are performing same. These two, this and this, both are performing same. There is no difference. Only the difference is declaring in the database. Declaring in the database. This is the declaration. It is something different. I have declared some different way, and here it is I have declared something different way. So these two things you need to understand how to declare. So these both are working properly. So next, I have declared the structure. See here what they have done inside a form in form. They have taken sub tables tab 1 structure tab. So what they have done, they have taken they have taken tab 1 as a table like a structure of tab. So structure tab and tab 1 both are the same over here. Both fields are the same. Their data structure are same. So that's why they have taken tab structure tab. So these are both are the same. And whatever if I want to read tab 1, because this is the table, see I want to read this tab 1. So what I will do, I will loop on this tab, and whatever the data is there inside tab, we can easily read those line by line, item by item. So after this declaration, what I have done, I have written the loop this inside the tab 1, and after that whatever I want, how many fields are there, I have taken only one field, tab 1 carried ID. But if I want to take, you can take ID, then name, then whatever the structure is, whatever the value is there inside the tab 1, you can check out, and you can declare, and you can write it down. So you can see inside a loop or end loop, I have taken only single value. So this is the another way of declaring the data structure. This is the another way. So you can see that form sub tables, which is tab 1, and then a structure type tab. So this is the another way. So now we have seen three way of declaring. First is like this. First way is like this, rack like s, right, which you can directly declare in the perform itself. First of all, the first is this. Second way, you need to declare in your data declaration, and then you can use that. See here, you can see that tab like as flight we have already declared. So these things we have using over here. So tab is a structure. I need to integrate with the tab 1. So they have taken a tab 1 as a same tab structure type. So tab 1. So here, this is the all three way we can declare our data, and we can utilize that inside our loop, or if I want to declare directly. Then second, now we have seen the internal subroutine. Now there is a external subroutine also, which we can call somewhere else, and we have to use that somewhere else. I mean to say, this in the external subroutine I have used in some another program, but the same subroutine I can call in my program also. This is the way. So here you can see that I have this is the report name RSAAA 10F10F. This is my report in which I have declared tables for the way I have declared. I have written some code over here. Then I have using subroutine. Subroutine call RSAAA10B. This is the subroutine in which I have written one program. This is the program name. So now I can use see, this is the program, but I don't know what I need to I need to write a report. I need to write this program. Whatever the requirement is there, according to that I can write this program. So see, I have written this program in some other, it is some other report. So I have written report RSAAA10B table SPLITE form call perform. So this is another program which I have written somewhere else. I have not written this program inside this program. This program has to be written somewhere else. This program has to be written somewhere else. But with the help of this program using perform, we are calling this program in our own program. Understood? So this is very something different. So this is called external subroutine. Till now what we are learning, we have learning the internal subroutine. In the internal subroutine, whatever the subroutine we are calling or we are using inside the same program, using perform 1, perform 2, perform routine 1, perform routine 2, perform routine 3. but here what I have done, I have taken another program. That program has been declared somewhere else, and there is a logic, something else logic. But that program I have used in my, that is called external subroutine. So this external subroutine, which is called external program. So what I have done, this external program I have fetched in my own program. So you can see that the perform call RSAAA10B, which is I have used in my own program. So this is called external subroutine. So external subroutine in the sense we can calling the program from somewhere else to our own program. This is very easy and very important. This is very important. So now this is external program. Now I need to show you about exit. What is the meaning of exit? Exit. What is the meaning of exit? What is the meaning of exit? See, exit. Exit is meaning that, exit means that if I'm going to ask you about the simple layman language, what is the meaning of exit in the simple English? So it is out, coming out. Just like exit door, exit in when you're going somewhere. So there should be entry. It is in an exit, entry and exit. So if you're going some mall, so there is a two door for entry and exit. So exit means coming out. The simple layman language, I mean to say, exit means coming out. Anywhere, if you're going to cinema halls, malls, shopping mall, anywhere, any big bazaars. So simple exit means the coming out. So in our program, in the SAP program, the same meaning, exit means the coming out. So whenever we require that in this way, if this condition has come, or this variable has come, or this message has come, or something, so we need to exit from that particular program. So you can see we have written over here exit. So how we are going to check this? Initially we have written the data TMP is type I. So it is simple declaration of the data. So what I have done, I have taken temp value 4. So I have putting the 4 inside a temp, TMP temp. So data temp type I am putting the temp equal to 4. So I am putting the value of 4 inside a temp TMP. Now I am writing perform A. What exactly the using of perform A? So you can see inside the perform A I am writing write temp. So temp in the 4 it will writing a 4, but after executing the perform. So I'm going to double click on the perform, so it will create a form. Form A is and in form. You can see form A and in form. So form A. So exit. Whenever form A comes, exit. It will directly exit from the program. Whenever perform is called, it will exit the program. It will exit and it will put again temp inside a 99 inside a temp, and it will complete our form. So here when it will exit, it will come to the your temp. So here you can see inside the temp you will find 99. You can see that it will, we have written that 99, it will write over here 99. So whenever the exit comes, it will come out of your program. This is as simple as that. Then we have a stop statement. What the stop statement is going to do? See, there is a two thing. There is a two thing. In the exit, it will come outside the loop. By means it come outside the perform, and it will go directly to the temp 9. It will come outside the inform, and it will write the temp. Temp is 4, so it is writing the 4 over here. It will come outside exit. When it will going inside the perform, first sentence it forms the exit. First sentence it forms the exit, so it will come outside the exit. It will come into the inform. So perform has been done. Then it will write temp. Temp value is 4, which we have written initially. So it will output is 4 only, not 99 over here. So it will not 99, to write 4 only. Next, a stop statement. What the stop statement is do? So stop statement is see, there is a two statement: start of selection and end of selection. So in the start of selection, we are basically working on the value of the variable. We are basically fetching the data. We are assigning some value. These two form work we are doing in the start of selection. We are starting from there. Selection in the sense we are working on the selection, start of selection. And every start of selection has end of selection. So every start of selection is end of selection. Always remember, every start of selection is end of selection. So you can see that the same thing, I have declared one data structure over here, data type I, which is num, so 1. So in the start of selection, what I have done, I have put the value of 4 in the TMP, temporary variable. So here what I have done, I have put the value of 4. Then I have perform A. When you're starting the perform A, double click, it will open a form. So you can see the form A. It will stop. When you're going inside a form, first sentence it is found stop. So go to the end of selection. So whenever it is found stop, it will directly come over here. It will directly come over here. Then you will start executing from temp equal to 0. Write temp. So what it will do, initially there is a 4, but 4 has been overwritten with the 0 and write equal to temp. So it will output should be 0. So here we have seen that if we do not want anything should be go, I do not want that this statement should be executed, so we can directly put the stop. So stop, again I am going to create, I am going to explain this. See, stop basically do, it will, there is a two thing I want to exit. It will come to your come out from your directly come out from your perform. When it will find exit, it will directly come from your out on your perform, and it will directly write TMP, which is 4. So its output will be 4. But here stop, it will directly go to your end of selection. Directly go to your end of selection. End of selection. So it will not writing any temp over here, because it will directly come to your end of selection. So initially temp equal to 4, but when going inside A, so there in the A you can see the form A, it will stop. When it will going executing stop, it will directly come over here. So from here it is not going inside this, it will directly come over end of selection. So end of selection, after that it will be moving forward. So it is found temp equal to 0. Value of 0 has been inside the temp. So it will write value 0. Directly it will write value 0. So you can see the stop is nothing but a end of selection. So till now we have learned the modularization uh, and subroutine. The subroutine, how many types of subroutines? There is a two type of subroutines. Number one, external subroutine. Number two, internal subroutine. So internal subroutine, number one. Internal subroutine we are using inside our own program. There is no limit. You can use number of subroutines if you want. So 5, 10, 15, whatever you want. So what the subroutine will do? It will clean your code, it will cleaning your code, it will give you easy to understand, easy to read, and you can easily bifurcate or segregate your code according to the different requirement, different I can say performance, different performances. Like initially you need to write a select query, then you need to read the statement, you need to loop your internal table. So each and everything you can do inside each and every subroutine over here. So every subroutine is inside your program. So this is called your internal subroutine. The second thing, external subroutine. The external subroutine basically we are using when we are writing any program and the another program which we require to fetch that program inside my own program. So that time we are using external subroutine. So external subroutine basically calling from somewhere else in your program. So there is a two thing, internal subroutine and external subroutine. Then we have a modularization. In the modularization we have seen the pass by value. Pass by value, it is passing the value inside your function, basically simple way. Then we have using call by reference. Call by reference, address. It will taking the address. So we are using call by address. Then we have seen that perform my subroutine with using parameter, using keyword, and with changing keyword. Then after that changing keyword. So these two things we have seen. Then after that we have seen the statement or exit and stop. Exit, what it will do, it will come from the when it any perform or any subroutine we have written exit, so it will come out from that exit, directly come out from that subroutine, and it will execute the next statement. And in stop, what it will do, stop directly come to your end of selection, from where whatever the code has been written, it will execute that. Now I am starting with the function module. We have learned lot of things regarding modularization techniques and all. Now I am starting with the function module. What exactly is the function module? What is the use of function module? All these things we are going to learn over here. See, function module. Before going to the function module, there is a few things which you need to understand. The function group. So every function module should be stored in a function group. So before creating any function module, we need to create a function group. Why? Because every function module has to be stored in the function group, which is necessary. It is necessary that when you're creating any object, it should be stored in some package. The same way, every function module should be stored in some function group. Then we have a function library. These are the function library. Admin, export import parameters, then source code, then main program, then documentation. See, when you're going to function group, there is a few tabs you find in basically function group. Function module always creating transaction SE37. Always remember, SE37 has been used for creating a function module. So function group. So when you start creating the function module, when you're going to create SE37, it will ask you for function group. When you create any function module, so it will ask where you want to put this function module, any function group if you want. So you need to create a fresh function group, because every function group there is a single function module. You cannot put this function model any other. If you're creating any function model, you cannot put that function model in a existing function group or any standard function group. So you need to create the fresh function group. While creating a fresh function group, you have created the function group and you put that function you have created the function group. Now you have start creating your function model. So when you starting creating a SE37, you put your Z. Suppose you want to Z call. Z call is Z function model. If you have created Z function model, simple function model. When you're going to start, so admin in the sense, it will ask, it will write down your name. The person is responsible for creating your function module, date, language. Basically, what the standard function model. Any standard function model should be in DE. DE stands for German language. DE stands for German language. So if you found any function module which is not start with Z or Y, that is a standard function module, and has to be created by SAP itself, and the original language of that particular function module is DE. It is German. But while we are creating any function module, we always create it in English. So our basic language is English. Then after that, there is import and export parameter. Import and export parameter, whatever we want to put, just like an example. In import parameter, I want a function module which can convert one currency to another currency. I'm giving you the simple example. So in the import parameter, I need a currency field, I need an amount field, number, how many rupees or how many dollars, whatever I want to put over there, and the date. Date, why I require a date? Because the date directly connected with your rate of that particular day. Suppose today is $1 equal to 68 rupees and tomorrow is around 65, so that is the difference. So I want to convert on the basis of the date. So these three parameters I required in the import parameter. Then export parameter, I required only two fields, in which one is just like I need to convert dollar into GBP, Great Britain pound, or Australian dollar, or INR, Indian rupees. So that one currency key required, and second I required a amount field, amount in the integer field, in which I will check that $100 in Indian rupees, how much rupees in $100, how much rupees in Indian rupees, INR. So that thing I required. That's it. That is export parameter. After that, for these import and export parameters, I need to write some logic that how to convert that parameter on the basis of date. These things all the things I need to write inside a logic. For that I need someone editor. Inside this I am writing my source code. That is main program, source code main program. Then after that I require a documentation of that particular function module. Each and everything what I have done, import parameter, export parameter, each and everything I need to document it. So this is the way we are creating a function module inside a function group. So function group, what exactly is the function group? When you create a function module, you must assign it to the function group, what I have told you. So every time when you're creating a function module, you need to assign that function module inside a function group. The function group is the main program in which a function module is embedded. So function group is a main program. So function group is here and function module is here. So function group is the main program. So inside a function group, every function module has to be embedded. Next, the function group is a program type F and not executable. So function group is also a program. It's nothing but is also a program, but its type will be F. Basically, whatever, when we are creating any report or any program, their type is E. E stands for executable program. But here for function group the type is F. F is which is not at all executable. The entire function group is loaded in a program the first time that you call a function module that belongs to it. So when you're creating a function module, when you pulling that or calling that function module, then first time the function group program will run. It is all about the function group. Function group is a container for function module. It is a container kind of thing. When a function module is called, the entire function group is loaded into a session of the program. When you are using any SE37, when you are writing a function module using SE37, first time or any time, the function group automatically called. Function group is used to define global data for function module. So basically function group defines the global data. I have told you about the global data and local data. So it is defining the global data. A data statement in the global memory of a function group is shared by all the function module that belong to the function group. So the data statement what we are using to declaring the data, it is stored in the global memory. Always remember, and global memory is stored in the function group, not in the function module. So whenever you and which is shared by the function module. So whenever you are writing any function module and you are using a data keyword, always remember that should be in your global memory, not in a local memory, which is inside your function group. Then function group. This is SE37 transaction. In the SAP, when you are writing SE37, it is open this. This is coming. This function builder will come. This function builder, it will come over here. So this is the function module. So before creating a function module, I have told you you need to create a function group. So you need to go inside the go to tab. You can see there is a tab which is function module, edit, go to, utilities, environment, system and help. So initially you need to go to the function group. Why? Because before creating any function module, I need to create a function group. So I'm creating a function group. I'm writing a create group, it is a create group. So you can see the function group I have given with the name of Z. So it is a customized group. So GGRP ZGRP 00 ZGRP 00. You can see that I have given this function group name. So it is function group for ABAP #1. Whatever you want to short text, you can give over here. Then person responsible, it will take the name of that particular person who is responsible or who is created this function module. So you can see that this is the function module name over here, person responsible. And again, at the time of creating a function module, we require something over here. This is the package star tmp, because I have put inside a temporary package, so it is a temp package. The person responsible ID, the same one, the same you can find the person responsible who is here, the same is over. If you are going to create, your name will come over here. Then original system is IDS, system name, it is a system name IDS, and original language is EN. I have told you, it is always going to give you an EN language. If you are going to see any standard function module which is not started with Z and Y, it will show you in DE. DE stands for German. So you can see that you need to start with your function group. There is an option: create group, change group, display group, delete group, or find group. If you want to create, then there is an option for create. If you want to change your group, you can change the group. Display, if you want to display, it will display. If you want to delete, then you can delete the group or find the group. So there is a 5 option over here. While you are clicking the function module, it will give you 5 options. So you can choose your option according to a requirement. If you have created and if you want to change, then you can change, display, delete, or find. The next, when you are going to create your function group, it will go inside a object navigator transaction. This is another transaction. That was SE37. This was SE80. So it will go inside the object navigator transaction. So you can see the function group, whatever you have given over here. You can see that previously you have given ZGRP00. You have created this is something ZPSM00. So this is the function group. This is the another way function group you can create SE80 directly. If you want to create, there is a 2 way to creating a function group. Number 1 is function group SE37, which is SE37, and second with the help of SE80. So SE80 inside this, you need to select over here function group, You need to write your function group name. When you're going to create, when you're going to create this, it will ask, create, when you're going to create object with a function group, this does not exist, create object. So if you're going to click yes, then it will create an object for your function group. So you can see that the same thing over here. You can see that function group, short text and person responsible, and save. So here you can see function group, short text, person responsible. The same thing after this window will pop up. The same thing over here. After this, the package window will pop up and you need to save inside a package. So you can see that the same way. So there is a two way to create your function group. Either SE37, in SE37 you need to go through goto, and in SE80 you need to directly, you can create directly with the SE80. You need to only select over here function group and you need to write your function group name. This is the two way you need to select your function group. Then we have a function module. What exactly is a function module then now? Function module is a code that can be called from any ABAP program, therefore making it is globally accessible object. So whenever you are creating a function module, so it can be work any program or anyone. I have created one function module, so my colleagues can easily use that function module in their program. So at a single time, single function module can be used in a multiple programs. So there is no restrictions at all. If my colleague has created any function module, so I can use that function module in my own program if I require. So function module is not dependent with anyone. That if it is used by one program, so another program cannot be used. So that is not kind of thing. Anyone use anywhere. ABAP program pass data to function module from import parameters or internal tables. So you can see I have given you an example. I have told you that with the help of program you need to pass the data in your import parameter. In the import parameter we are passing the data or internal tables, whatever. So it will give you the output. Function module receive data from the program, process the information in its own code, and then sends back information to the export parameter or internal tables. So there is a two way. I'm importing the parameter and it will giving the output in the export parameter. If I'm going to import some internal table, so output should be an internal table. So sometimes I want to read some internal table, so also we can use the function module to read that particular internal table. There is a standard function module which is called read underscore text. So that particular function module read the text of your table. Read the internal table of your read the table. So you can see that after that I have created the function module. So you can see over here. So you can see the ZFM test. ZFM test, you can see the create button. You can see over here, this is the create button. So I'm creating this function module. I have already created the function group. You can see that ZRP00. Without function group, it is not possible to create your function module. So it is creating the function module over here, ZFM test. Some function FM test in the sense function module test. So ZFM test, it is created. You can see that created over here. ZFM test GRPP. This is the function group over here. This is the function group and the test function module. You can see that you can see the short text is test function module over here. So test function module we have created. So it is easily to understand ZFM test. So this is the screen. This is the first screen. This is the first screen of your, when you're going to put SE37 over here. This is the transaction code tab over here. So you need to put SE37 over here. When you are going to put SE37, so this window will come. So you have already created the function group, then no need to create, and you need to assign only that inside that function group your function module. So you have created the function module and you need to assign only. Now, see, after creating the function model, you have created the function model ZFM test. You can see that this is the ZFM test. When you have created the ZFM test, this is the actual picture. It will come in front of you. So you can see that there is lot of option. You can see ZFM test here. It is inactive. It is not active here. This is the function model coming. ZFM test. It is inactive. Then you can see it is attributes. Then we have import export parameter, we have a changing parameter, we have tables, exception, source code. So you can see that in the attributes it will retain your person responsible for date, language. In the attributes it will store these things. Apart from these things, it will also store your function group. Then we have an import parameter. In the import parameter we are writing what we want, what we need to put, what we need to import in this function module. So you can write the parameter name, their type, and the associated type. We can write any table or a structure. Then export parameter, what we want from the system, from your function module. The same thing we are writing with. Then changing, if we want to change something, we can write in changing. If we are using any tables, then we have to write here. Then exceptions. In the exception, basically we are writing some error. If you want to give some error, if someone has put the wrong data and you need to give some error, so you can write some in exceptions. And source code, whatever the logic we need to write for this function model, we are writing over here. And this is the function model documentation. When you complete this, if you're going to click this, it will make a documentation for you, which easily can understandable, which you can easily read. So you can see these are the tabs. Total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 tabs are there. Then we have started the function model source code. So you can see that function ZFM test. So what I have done, I have taken a simple example. Here you can see the result equal to number 1 into number 2. It is when you are multiplying the two numbers, it is multiplying. When you multiplying the two numbers, that number should be stored in the result. So you can see that if you're multiplying the two numbers, that result should be stored in that value should be stored in the result. So here you can see that in the import parameter you need to write two numbers. Number 1 type I or integer. Number 2 type I or integer. Then export parameter you need to write result, because I need a result. So in the export tab you need to write result type I. And in the source code, you need to write this function and in function, inside the function, in function result equal to number 1 into number 2. That's it. This is simple. One of the simplest way to complete, to create a function module for multiplying two numbers. For multiplying two numbers, you can easily create one function module. The same way you can create for add, divide, or minus. Division you can use, you can multiply I have used, you can use for addition, you can use for division, you can use for minus. These three you can use the same way. So you can see the program example 1. I have created a simple one program, the report Z test. This is some I'm going to call my function model over here. So I have taken the two parameters, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2. I'm going to correlate this over here. So you can see the two parameters what I need to put in the import parameter over here, number 1 and number 2. So number 1 and number 2, which I have taken number 1 type I, number 2 type I integer. Number 3 is a result. So you can see the result over here, which is nothing but inside your export parameter. So data type, result type I, the same. Number one type I, number two type I, and this are I have taken the parameters over here. Basically the parameters, when you're going to execute this program, so it will give you the facility to input any two numbers over here. So you can input, there is no need to write in the program itself. So result equal to I. Then after that I have written the start of selection. So in the start of selection, you can see I have directly called my function module ZFM test. You can see that either I have created the same function module or something different. You can see that. So I have created the ZFM test. So ZFM test, here I am pulling the same function module ZFM test. You can see that. So inside the export parameter, there is a two number one and number two. So you can see the number one and number two, which I have used over here. Number one type I, number two type I. In the two lines I have written the two parameter name. So over here you can see that number one, which is number one, which is over here I have declared. Number two is number two, which I have declared. So these two values is coming directly from the input parameter, which any user going to give in your report. And output is result, which is nothing but your data type I. Over here you can see that over here the result is here, which is nothing but in your export parameter over here. So it is coming from there. After the result is coming, and I need to write the result only, so I have written write result. That's it. Finish. This is a simple program. How to use your function module inside your program. So I have created the function module over here. You can see that I have created the function module. I have created the function group. Inside this function group, I have created function module. After this function module, I have assigned my import parameter, my export parameter. In the source code, I have written this code. That's it. And I have used that function module in my program. I need a program in which I need to calculate multiplication of the two different numbers. I can write directly code over here, but I need some function module which I can use apart from this program somewhere else also. So that's why I have written this function module. So, and if in the future anyone want to multiply two numbers in the and some result, so they can use this function module. There is no need to write each and every time some code. So now you can see that you can see that I have used the program for multiplication. Now the same program I can written for divide the number. So here what you need to do, only in the function module you have given the import parameter, export parameter. Only you need to write result number one divide by number two. Only this you need to write in your source code, and you can see the result is 5. So 10 by 2 is 5. You can see the 5. So this is the way you can go. So here you need to write your code only, just like what I have written over here. What I have written, result equal to number multiplied by number 2. The same way you need to write result equal to number 1 divided by number 2. That's it. Finish. One line code. It is only one line code. So you can see, you can easily understand the function module is what. It is a repetitive structure kind of thing. So you can use this function module anywhere, any program in the future. Not even this program, anywhere in the way. So if you're creating any function module, it is very helpful I can say that it will reduce your code. It will reduce your definitely code. I have given you the simple example, but there is a lot of things which we require, just like currency converter. If I am going to write my code, so it will take a lot of time to think the logic and to write the code. If I get readily available some function module which directly convert, it is easy for me, very easy for me, and I can utilize those things. So you can understand these. See, in the exception, what is the exception? So exceptions, I have taken the invalid number. It is a kind of error message. You can write short text over here. that it is an invalid number. Like this you can write a code. So if anyone written just like I have given, if someone is writing some apart from any number, just like 1122 or anything, they are writing AABB, so it will give them error that it is an invalid number. It is not a number, it is a character. So like that they can give them error. You can see that. Now this is the simple way, exception in the sense it will give you the error. Then we have a function module. See, function z call 01. This is a function. Now I have taken, see, the same z call function 1. I want to raise the invalid number, just like invalid number they have written. So I want to raise the invalid number. How to raise the invalid number? If number 1 is greater than 9 and number 2 is greater than 9, both the number is greater than 9. I'm going to say 10, 11, 12 or 100, whatever. So raise invalid number, else result equal to this indif function. So this is the logic. This is the logic why I need to write over here in the source code. In the source code, if you are going to write this logic, it will, if the number is greater than 9, suppose I have taken here, suppose I'm going to give you the, here, if I have written the logic over here, the same logic what they have written, if I put in 10, 10 here, 10 and 10, basically if you are going to multiply 10 and 10, it shows 100. But I have taken, if the number is greater than 9, which is 10, and here is also 10, so it shows raise an error, the number is invalid. Number is invalid. So it is raising invalid number. It's clear. It's clear. It's very easy to understand. So now next. Now next we have example for exceptions. You can see that there is some example for exceptions. So invalid number equal to 1. Here they have written invalid number equal, it is 1, so invalid number. You can see that invalid number, it is 1. So now see, there is a, now I need to write one code here. What the code I have written initially, you can see there is exporting parameter and importing parameter. There is no exceptions I have written over there. Step by step we are processing. So I have written exporting parameter, importing parameter, but no exceptions. But after that I have written, when we understand about the exceptions, so we have written over here exceptions. So I have given exporting parameter, importing parameter and exceptions. So now how to do this, let's see. So initially we started the report z test, then I have written the parameter 1 and parameter number 1 and number 2, the same what I have used. Then results, these three things all old one. In the past program I have written this, number 1 type I, number 2 type I, data declaration, this is parameter declaration, then result, it's result type I. Then start of selection, I'm calling the function module z call 01. In the exporting parameter number 1 and number 2, what it will come directly. Importing I have put in the result, I have taken the result over here. Then exceptions I have written over here, exceptions, which is invalid number equal to 1. So what it will do, if I have written the logic over here for exceptions, you can see the for exceptions I have written the logic. If number 1 is greater than 9 and number 2 is greater than 9, then it is an invalid number. So you can see that number 1, number 2, what the number they have written over here. If the number 1 is 9, number 2 is 9, so it is working perfect. If the number 1 is 10 or number 2 is 10, then it's showing the error. What the error? Size sub RC equal to 0. Size sub RC equal to 0 in the sense, whatever the number you have written, it is not satisfying the condition. Size sub RC 0 in the sense it is showing some result error. My exception, some error has come. So write please enter number which is less than 10. So I have written one output over here. If psi sub RC is not equal to 0, psi sub RC is not equal to 0 instances, your condition has not been satisfied. If psi sub RC equal to 0 means your condition has been satisfied. So if psi sub RC is not equal to, this is the not equal to sign which we have learned. So write, please enter number is less than 10. So I will give you the pop-up. It is kind of information message. So please write a number which is less than 10, else write result in diff. This is, if the psi sub RC is 0, then directly write the result. If psi sub RC is not equal to 0, so please write the number which is less than 10. This is the simple. So here we need to understand only about the exception and these part, because last we have seen, till this part we have seen the last slides, but here from exceptions I need to understand. Again I am going to tell you, in the exception there is an invalid number. I have written 1. So if psi sub RC not equal to 0, not equal to 0 in the sense condition has not been satisfied, they have written some value which is more than 9 over here. So that's why I have written, if psi sub RC is not equal to 0, so then write, please enter number less than 10. So I have written over here the less than 10 number. Till 9 I require. I do not want to go beyond 9 any number. So please enter number less than 10 and then result over here. I need to write result. If the condition is not satisfied, then this information message. If the condition has been satisfied, then result directly. No need to write anything else. Then the exceptions over here. See again, this is the exceptions I have written from my side. I have given one example over here, that I have taken one program. In the program you can see that there is a 2 number. In the program there is a 2 number. In the program you can see there is a 2 number. Number 1 is 10, number 2 is 0. But you cannot divide any number by 0, which is not possible. See, 10 by 0 is nothing. You will not get anything. So you need to write one exception, that invalid number 2 cannot be 0. Number 2 cannot be 0. You need to write one exceptions like this. So what you need to do over here, I will give you. So here you need to write, if number 2 is equal to 0, you need no need to write these things. You need to write directly, if number 2 is equal to 0, then raise invalid number, or raise what they want, raise invalid number colon number 2 cannot be 0. So you need to write these entire invalid number 2 cannot be 0. So you need to write over here entire thing, else result equal to number 1 into number 2 or divide whatever. So this is the way you can write your function module over here. So let's see how they have written. See here, initially we have seen that number 1 is greater than 9 and number 2 is greater than 9, then raise invalid number, else result equal to 1 in diff function. Second, parameter number type at selection screen, if number 1 is greater than 9 and number 2 is greater than 9, message with the please enter. This is the two-way. There is a two-way exception while creating the exceptions. Either this way or you can use this way. This way you can write at selection screen. Here what they have done, they have raising at the screen time itself. At the screen time itself in the report. These things they have created in report, and these things they have created in your function module. So these two differences. So if you want to create some exceptions in your function module, then you need to write this way. If you want to create some exception or some error message in your program itself, then you can write this way. So at selection screen, what it will do, while you writing a number which is greater than 9 in your selection screen, in your parameter in your selection screen, then itself it is it will return a message, please enter number less than 10. So here you can see it will directly give you a message over here, there itself in your screen itself. So after that the user can identify that I have written the wrong number, then it will give the wrong number in the parameter itself, then it will going to then it will raising no exceptions over here. So this is the way you can create the, so at the selection screen level also, and on your exceptions level also you can create your what I will going to tell you. So there is a two way you can create. Now there is an option. You can see that you have taken the import parameter, export parameter, changing an optional. Optional in the sense, if you want, then you can put the number. If you do not, there is no need, then you cannot. Option in the sense, it will comment that line. It will comment that line. This is, you can see here, you can see that number, the three parameter they have given in the import parameter: number 1, number 2, and number 3. Type I, type I, type I. For number 3 is default value 1 they have given. So they have given already default value in the function module itself, and you can see that they have taken the optional value 1 and 3rd. First and third they have taken optional value. So optional value in the sense, you can see that it will coming with asterisk over here. Number 1 and number 3, you can see it will come with asterisk. So it is commented. Number 2 is not optional, so it is not commented. So you there is, if you do not want, you can do not write any value for these. You cannot pass if you don't want, you don't need to pass any value over here for these two numbers. You don't need to pass any value for first and third, but it is necessary to pass a value for number 2. So this is the meaning of optional. Optional means it is a comment out. Optional means comment out, the simple way. No need to pass any value for that particular numbers. No need to pass any value, but for number 2 it is necessary to pass value for these second number, because it is not optional. You can see it is not clicked over here. It is not clicked over here, so it is mandatory. Optional means optional. If you not pass any value, so it become mandatory, necessity. So it is mandatory, so you need to pass over there. So you can see over here, function module. I have taken the export parameter work area type customer. I have taken work area type customer. One thing I want to tell you over here. See, whatever you are putting in the import parameter, it is coming over there. You can see that. Whatever you putting, so you put these things in your import parameter 1, 2, 3. You can put in these things in your import parameter, but while calling the function module, it is coming your export parameter. While putting these things in your import parameter, it is coming to your export parameter over here. It is very good. So it is entirely different. It is entirely different. Whatever you putting in your import parameter, it is coming your export parameter. Or whatever you written your export parameter, it is coming to your importing parameter. It is entirely different. Just do remember these things. So whatever your import parameter is export, whatever export in your import while calling the function module. This thing I want to tell you over there. So work area type customers, you can see the work area type customer I have taken by book customers. Okay, so they have taken the export parameter over here. So import parameter, they have taken ID type customers ID, work area type customers, these two things. Okay, and the out exceptions, no data, same thing. So now they have written the code over here. You can see the source code. I have written the source code over here. So function module this, so local references. So importing parameter, you can see the reference ID type customer ID. This is the importing parameter. Then exporting parameter, reference type work area customers, exceptions, no data. So while creating the source code, these part will come automatically. These part, the blue, which is a commented part, which is a commented line, it will come automatically over here. So these things come automatically, whatever you have written in the import, export and exception part. Again, only you need to write a logic. So I have written the select single star from the customer into work area where ID equal to ID. So here you can see I need a single data. I need a single data. Select single star from customer into work area. Work area here, this is export. In the export part, I need this. I need data over here. So work area I have taken So it will come only single data. So select single star from the customer into work area where ID equal to ID. I'm comparing ID over here. Whatever the ID I have written, the same value it is comparing. And you can say if size sub RC is not equal to 0, there is no data. If size sub RC, it is not satisfied. If you are not getting any data, when it is when the size sub RC will fail, when there is no data. When there is no data, the size sub RC will fail. So you can see that if there is no data, the size sub RC will fail. It is showing 0. So it is raising no data. No data I have raised over here. In the exception I have written the no data. So it is going to give you the no data over here, and it is the end function. The function starts with over here and end over here. So this is the way you can write your example. I have given the structure, how to declare the structure inside a function model. So we have taken the import parameter over, export parameter, we have taken the exceptions, I have written the code over here. So all the things, it is completing your single structure of a function model. So you can see that the same function model I can use jetpsm00. Now I'm using the jetpsm00. So I'm writing my report. I'm written the report ID. Because I need to pass ID, so I have taken the ID like customer ID. Parameter data work area, because I need a work area. One thing I want to more highlight over here, whatever the ID and work area you have taken in your function model, the same thing you need to pass over here. So in the function model ID, what is the ID? ID type customer ID. So you need to pass like customer ID. Otherwise it will give you dump. It will give you error. Then here you can see the work area like customers. So here you can see I have taken the work area type customer. So same thing you need to write over here. Work area like customer. Then again you start with the start of selection. Then call function your function model, exporting ID, and will give you work area. I meant is the customer. So if size sub RC is not equal to 0 means no data found. Then again else write work area ID and work area name and city. So these things you can pass. It will give you the ID, name and the city in the output. If the value is found, then it will give you ID, name and city. In the work area, it will give you all data from customers, all the data from the customer. And I need to I only require ID, name and city. Then it will only give you ID, name and city. If the size of RC is not equal to 0 means no data found. Equal to 0 means data is there. If no data is there, then no data found. If data is there, then it will print only ID, name and city. That's it. Then internal table in the function model. So you can see how we created tables. This is the tables. Tables you can create internal table or directly you can use a table. So basically we are using internal table. So I can see the tab like customer. Customer is a table. Customer is a database table. So I'm using like tab like customer. So I'm using over here. So we have seen that import, export, exceptions, source code, and we have also seen the table over here. You can see the table we have also seen. Now you can see the table, we have seen the customer table. We have taken the cust table like customer. We have taken the cust table like customer, and the exceptions I have taken the no data. So what I'm going to take here, what I have done, initially, see here I have taken the value into the work area. This is the parameter work area directly into work area where ID equal to ID. But when I have created the table. When I have created the table over here, tables, cust tab like customers. If I have created the tables, then why not I can directly take the data into the internal table itself. So I have done, select star from customers. So it will fetch all the data from the customers into my table cust tab, which is my internal table like customers. The same. So cust tab structure is same as customer table. So it will put all the data in my cust tab. So cust tab will full with the customer value. So if no value while running, if no value has come, so it will raise the exceptions, no data is found, and end it. That's it. Simple. If the no value has come, it will raise the exceptions, no data. So the same thing now I'm using this function module JSPSM00. So again, the same thing, tab, I'm using my internal table tab like customers. What I have taken over here I have taken the cust tab. I have taken here like customers, so I have taken the customers occur 0 with the header line. Okay, because this is an internal table, so I need with 0 with the header line. Then a start of selection, the same thing. In the tables, there I have taken the export and import tab parameters. Now I have not taken any export and import parameter. I have taken only table and exceptions over here. So you can see the tables. I have passed the tab, my internal table, and if the internal table is full, my data will be there. if the no data is found over here, if the no data is found, means I sub RC is not equal to 0, so it write no data found. If there is no data, then no data found. Else, if data is there, because it's an internal table, there might be hundreds of line item. I mean, so there is hundreds of line for thousands of line, because it's a data is in tab is filling from my database table customers. So might be there is a because you can see that I have written over here. See, select a star from the customer into table cust tab. So value is coming from the database table customer. So you can see, so there is hundreds of line. So what I have done, I have written the loop. It will read the single line. It will write the single line. So write tab ID, tab name, and tab city. I require the three things. It is writing the three things, and it will line by line. So you can see that here I have written the same thing, ID, name, and city, but I have not written any loop. Why? Because it is coming directly from the work area, and work area always has a single value. But here I have written the loop because value is coming from the internal table, and internal table has a multiple line of items. So these things we have done. So these things till now we have done with the these internal table, work area, import export parameter. Now come with the function group ZRPOO. If I want to include something, I can give the function module over here. Function module, how many slides are still there? Okay, function group, I'm here. We have done this 43 to 55, 10 slides more. What happened? Now the function group. See, I have created the function group for this, the ZRPOO, RPO00. So this is the two function module which is come under this. So you can see that program, I have written the logic. I have created the include for one for global data and one for function module. Now the function group. You can see this function group has two include over there. One include is this, in which I have taken the include this, in which function pool is there, table and data type. That's it. And in the second one, I have created only include. I have not created anything else. Okay. So now function model and function group. So include this. I have included this. Include this over here and include this over here. So two includes in two different function models. So this include ZFM test. So it is coming ZFM test for this. This include for this function model, and this include for this function model. In which two include one for this is multiplication, the result one, number one into number two. This is end function, and this is for another function model in which I have taken the divide. Result equal to this into this. Okay, so here you can see that I have written one, if number 2 equal to 0, then raise divide by 0, else result the same. I have taken the exceptions over there. So display current month name using function module. See, this is a one thing I want. See, the exercise is like, I want to display, if you put the month name, you put only month name, and I want to display the name of that particular month. Just like I have taken 04 is April, so 1 to January, February, March, April. 4 month is April, so April will come. If I put 01, so Jan will come. 12, December has to come. Like that. This one exercise. This you can do. If you want, you can do. This is very easy. You need to write a code over here. There, I will tell you how to write a source code. See, in the import parameter, you need to give only one thing. In the import parameter, you need to give some number, and in the export parameter, you need to give characters. One thing. In the logic, I'm coming to the logic part. In the logic part, you need to write 12 months. And for each, just like when you're in the import parameter, suppose you have taken character 1. So you have taken month in the import parameter. So when you're taking import parameter month, month, so you need to put if month equal to 01, which you are putting over here. So 01, when it is 01, the output parameter, so our result equal to January, like that. If, then else if when it is February, when it is 02, month equal to 02, then February, like that you need to write an end if. That's it. The simple, one of the simplest way to do do this. Do this. That's it. Then we have a catch. Some catch statement I will give you over here. Exceptions, which is catch statement is nothing but an exceptions only. So how much time is there, so I can check it out, and according to that I will continue. 5-10 minutes is there, and 10 minutes is not possible. So in the last 10 minutes, I'm going to conclude. We are going to see catch statement in the next class. So in the catch statement, basically what I will tell you, I'm just give you the example what is doing in the catch statement. So in the catch statement, basically it is running an exception over here. So basically catch statement is what it will do. Catch statement basically give you it will raise an error. It will raise an error, only error. See, you can see the syntax. You can see the syntax. Catch system exceptions error type n. So it will give you the error, only error. It will give you nothing else. So let's see, finish it out. It will not take time, I think so. So I will finish it out today itself. So cache statement, it will give you the simple cache system exceptions. So syntax, cache system exceptions. This is a syntax of the cache statement. We are writing cache system exceptions error type n. So basically cache system, what it will do, it will cache a statement, it will give you the error messages. So in ABAP statement generate runtime error. Basically sometimes runtime error will generate, so it will we can take through the cache statement. So in cache and in cache, we are writing the way. This is the way we are writing the cache statement. If size subars is equal to n here, the number. So we can write the number over here. We can see this. So there is a classes for caches, cache error type. So error class, single error, the cacheable runtime error. So you can see the cache system, the exceptions conversion error is equal to 1. So this is the type 1 which is come under the error class. The single error. Then cache system exceptions convert to the number equal to 1. Convert to number, it will converting to the number. Single, it is also error class, it is single error. All cacheable runtime error, cache system exceptions other equal to 1. This is the another thing. Then we have a cache statement. How we are writing the cache statement? So starting with the report gtest data run type I, then cache system exceptions conversion error equal to 1. This is others. You can write cache system exceptions conversion error equal to 1. Move ABC to num, but ABC how it is moved into the num, because ABC is a character type and num is a numeric type. So it is not possible to move character type into numeric type. So this is show you runtime error. Convert no number. This is show you the runtime error. So int cache. This is the cache system. If size subars equal to 0, assigning wrong data type to the variable num. So if size subars equal to 1 means data is not satisfied because you are moving character to the numeric value. So it is not possible. So that's why it is not possible. So that's why size subars we have put the 1. 1 is it is not satisfied. If it's 0, it is satisfied the condition. Because it is 1, so it is not satisfied the condition, and assigning wrong data type to the variable. We are assigning wrong data type to the variable. It is, we have written a statement over here. Then cache statement again. So data num type I, cache system exceptions other is equal to 1. Move ABC to the num. So we have num is a single character I, again int cache. Size subars assigning wrong data type to the variable num. You can see num equal to type I, here should be character 3, then only it will move, because num type character I is only taking one single character, single value. So that's why it is not moving and it is showing your error. Next, cache statement. So report gtest parameters, I have taken the two values the same and the result over here. Num1 type I, num2 type I, and the result. Then again a start of selection. Cache system exceptions compute int 0 divided by 1. So here I am dividing 0 by some number and if equal to 1. So result equal to num1 divided by num2. Int cache and int cache. If size subars is equal to 1, write divide by 0. If the value has come 1 means it is not satisfied, then divide by 0, else write result. So it is showing that you have divided the number by 0, so that's why it is not satisfied and showing an error. The same way I have written over here, the system others equal to 1, num1 by num2, Side subverse even, which is divide by 0. So there is a two way the same. So you can see the divide by 0 I have written over it directly, others equal to 1. Then here you can see that the catch in function